Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Okay, if you've ever found yourself chuckling at the absurdity of life, questioning the status quo, or just nodding in agreement at some hilariously brutal truth, then you probably know George Carlin. This man wasn't just a comedian, he was a philosopher with a microphone, a truth teller who sliced through societal nonsense with razor-sharp wit. Today, we're diving deep into some of his most iconic and thought-provoking quotes. Prepare to laugh, think, and maybe even get a little uncomfortable. Let us kick things off with a classic that always gets a reaction. Think of how stupid the average person is. Realize half of them are stupider than that. Ouch. But it makes you ponder, doesn't it? Carlin had this incredible way of pointing out the obvious that no one else dared to say. He held up a mirror to society, and sometimes the reflection wasn't pretty, but it was always honest. He also famously quipped, "Fighting for peace is like screwing for virginity." Now, that's a mental image. But it perfectly illustrates his point about contradictory concepts and the inherent absurdities we often accept without question. Carlin constantly challenged us to look beyond the surface, to scrutinize the language we use, and to really understand what we're advocating for. One of his most powerful observations, especially relevant today, is never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups. We've all seen this play out, right? Whether it's online or in real life, the collective irrationality can be staggering. Carlin wasn't just making jokes. He was issuing a warning, reminding us to stay vigilant and think for ourselves. Speaking of thinking for ourselves, here's a gem. Don't just teach your children to read, teach them to question what they read. This isn't just about literacy, it's about critical thinking. In an age of information overload, discernment is more crucial than ever. Carlin understood that true education empowers you to challenge, not just to accept. He was a master of cynicism, but with a heart, saying, inside every cynical person, there's a disappointed idealist. Isn't that profound? It suggests that cynicism often springs from a place of caring deeply, from expecting more from the world and being let down. It's a reminder that even the most jaded among us once held high hopes. And for anyone who's ever felt stuck in the daily grind, Carlin nailed it. Most people work just hard enough not to get fired and get paid just enough money not to quit. We've all been there, right? It's a stark commentary on the balance of effort and reward in our working lives, and it resonates deeply with so many. Carlin also had some fiery takes on society and politics. He famously declared, "It's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it." Talk about a mic drop. He believed that many of our societal narratives are designed to keep us comfortable and compliant, rather than truly enlightened or free. He wasn't afraid to pull back the curtain and expose the illusion. He understood the nature of power, saying, governments don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. Why? Because critical thinkers are harder to control. They ask questions, they challenge authority, and they don't just blindly follow. Carlin championed the individual against the system, always. His perspective on human connection was equally sharp. People are wonderful. I love individuals. I hate groups. This quote brilliantly captures the paradox of humanity. We celebrate individual achievement and uniqueness, yet we often see the worst behavior emerge when people coalesce into unthinking masses. It's a call to appreciate the person, not just the label. Carlin wasn't shy about his views on religion either. One of his most memorable is, "Religion is like a pair of shoes. Find one that fits for you, but don't make me wear your shoes." It's such a simple yet powerful plea for personal freedom and respect for individual choice. Live and let live, right? And then there's the observation that cuts through so much. Religion convinced the world that there is an invisible man in the sky who watches everything you do. He wasn't trying to convert anyone. He was simply asking us to examine the foundations of our beliefs with a clear, logical eye. It's about questioning the unquestionable. He also tackled the big questions of life and death with his characteristic wit. Death is caused by swallowing small amounts of saliva over a long period of time. Leave it to Carlin to find the humor in the inevitable. It's a playful jab at our attempts to overcomplicate things, reminding us that life itself is a process of slow decay, and that's okay. He saw the comedian's role as vital. I think it's the duty of the comedian to find out where the line is drawn and cross it deliberately. This quote explains so much about his own career. He pushed boundaries, explored taboo subjects, and challenged audiences to confront uncomfortable truths, all in the name of laughter and enlightenment. He broke barriers so we could all think a little more freely. And a personal favorite. Just when I discovered the meaning of life, they changed it. How relatable is that? Life is constantly evolving, throwing new challenges and perspectives our way. Carlin reminds us that certainty is a myth, and embracing that uncertainty can be its own kind of wisdom. His take on language was equally insightful. There are no bad words, bad thoughts, bad intentions, and words. He argued that words themselves are just tools. It's how we use them, the intent behind them, that gives them power. It's a reminder to focus on the message, not just the packaging. And then there is this absolute gem about modern consumerism. We buy stuff we guarantee need with money we guarantee have to impress people we guarantee like. This one hits hard, doesn't it? It's a perfect summary of the absurd cycle of consumer culture, and it forces us to reevaluate our motivations. Why are we really doing what we're doing? He also had a brilliant way of capturing everyday ironies. If you ever notice that anybody driving slower than you is an idiot, and anyone going faster than you is a maniac, pure genius. It perfectly illustrates our self-serving biases and how we often judge the world from our own limited perspective. Carlin was a master of wit, rebellion, and wisdom. He said, "Comedy doesn't always have to make you laugh, it can make you think." And that's exactly what he did. He used humor as a weapon, a tool to pry open our minds and force us to confront uncomfortable realities. He was a true realist, declaring, "I'm not a pessimist, I'm a realist." He didn't sugarcoat things. He presented the world as he saw it, raw and unfiltered. And in that honesty, there's a strange comfort and clarity. Finally, one of his most profound philosophical thoughts: we're all just temporary arrangements of atoms. It's a humbling and liberating perspective. Stripped down to our basic elements, we're all part of the same cosmic dance, temporary visitors making our way through a vast universe. George Carlin truly was one of a kind. His words continue to resonate because they speak to universal truths about human nature, society, and the constant struggle to make sense of it all. He challenged us to think, to question, and most importantly, to laugh at the absurdity of it all. What are your favorite George Carlin quotes? Share them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey through Carlin's genius, please hit that like button, subscribe for more thought-provoking content, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and keep questioning everything.